I've stopped at some point overlooking myself as a woman, but as a profession. So look at yourself as a trader, for example, not as a woman.
A woman trader.
Let the woman card not be the forefront card that you're placing on the table.
You need to put in the work in equal measure for you to get the reward.
Yeah. We back.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Pesa Chronicles. Delighted to have you here today. My name is Leah, a Prime Account Manager at Scope Markets. Today we have some amazing women here who are also mothers. They're inspiring, they're beautiful, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Welcome.
Thank you, Leah. Hello, everyone. My name is Christine Gataka. I'm the head of fixed income trading at Capital A Investment Bank, and I'm glad to be here.
Karibu.
My name is Monica Mwaniki, the CEO and co-founder of Avocap Asset Managers. I am delighted to be here to talk about women in this beautiful month, and we will tell you more about it. Thank you.
Wow. Based on the introduction, I can already tell you guys are in the business field. So maybe a bit more about yourself, something fun about yourself.
Oh, right. Thanks for that question. Fun. All right. So I like participating in innovation forums. Like I just think currently in these dynamic markets, it requires a lot of agility. So I like being in platforms where you're just thinking of what's next in terms of even the adaptability to the business environment. And on a more personal note, I like karaoke.
Ooh. So after this session, we'll have a karaoke session.
Yeah, we can.
Looking forward.
Yeah.
Monica?
I'll just break it down to the little girl that lives in me. And a fun fact about me is that I love watching the stars and watching the moon.
That's adorable. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So you're all business women. So how did you guys get started? Like, where did your journey begin?
Oh, wow. Okay. My journey began, of course, after campus, where you think now you need to look for a job.
Yeah.
And of course, I embarked on the journey. I remember I actually tarmacked for a week. Those days, people would go to Upper Hill or town trying to drop
With
off.
a kabahasha.
Yeah, CVs, exactly. And I did it like for a week. Then I remembered I had actually done an internship when I was in my second year of campus. So I was like, why am I struggling this much? And there's somewhere I had actually done my internship. So I decided to just go visit the office I was working at. Then the office used to be an agent of Faida Investment Bank. And I remember, he is called Mr. Mugane, sorry. And I just said I wanted to come back to the market. Is there any way I could get an opportunity? And that way, at the time, of course, he could not accommodate me at his office. So if I remember very well, he sent me to Standard Investment Bank. And I was told to go and try my luck there.
Yeah.
Those were his words. And of course, I met my then boss, Mr. Anthony Monyere, who did an interview on me. I had to present my case. And I didn't get my job immediately. I remember I went home feeling like, oh my, I still have to survive on, I remember I used to get an, like these allowances. I'm still going to survive on an allowance. My mom had reduced my allowance from what I used to get daily to now whatever I used to get daily became a week's allowance.
Allowance, yeah.
So I'm like, hey, no way, I'm going back to this, But anyway, yeah, so I went back and the opportunity was not there yet. But I remember it presented itself. I got a call from him a week later. And I started my training. And since then, yeah, we're here.
It picked up.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
Yes.
Proud of you, actually.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Monica?
Wow. There's somewhere our paths meet, definitely, with Christine. I didn't say where it meets.
Okay.
In fact, when I saw her, I was happy that we are here with her.
Yeah.
Because we have quite a lot in common. For me, my journey started, again, straight from campus. And there is a fire that was burning in me, telling me that I don't want these normal jobs that everyone was running
Yeah.
for. At that time, the trending things were being employed by the banks as a teller,
White collar stuff.
and then there is also management trainees in the big five, and that's what everyone was eyeing.
Yeah.
And having done my degree and coupled it up with CPA, it looked like the perfect fit then. But then I knew this might take me longer to progress, of course, because when you go into a very big organization,
Yeah.
sometimes the trajectory is a bit not steep. It's very almost flat.
Yeah.
So again, I had my brother then working in the capital markets, who kept on telling me that there are great opportunities in the capital markets. And he told me, I'll take you to my friend, and a close friend for that matter.
Okay.
And that friend is none other than Anthony Monyeri,
Ah.
the same. And so my brother told him that I'm giving you my sister, you'll be now the big brother. And that's where I started doing my internship. I did my internship, of course, learning. It took me about 6 months learning the ropes, understanding what this trading business was, and understanding what bonds are. At that time, now those are sounding like foreign things.
Yeah.
And just depending, it's time the markets had been automated. So the automation of markets where we could trade bonds across a platform and not the old traditional outcry at the at the NSC. So that's where it started. That's 16 years ago.
Whoa.
And I worked there diligently for about 6 years. And I learned my skills. And I think it's a field that I would say up to date, there are not so many women.
Yeah.
So, of course, there are their own challenges across the way.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, you keep on soldiering.
Yeah, true.
Then from there, I remember I moved to another firm, that's Dye & Blair Investment Bank.
Yeah.
And that's where I went to head the fixed income desk. Again, there's a similar role like what Christine has. So that's why I'm saying we have a lot in common. And that's where I was for the last close to 7 years. And then that's when I moved to start Avocap Asset Managers as a fund management firm where we do investments and manage funds. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is quite a journey, actually. On my side, I feel like in comparison to your journeys, I'm still headed there. But I started my journey also immediately after campus, got interested in the Forex and the market space. I feel like I had a lot of people in the space, so it was a bit easy for me to have that interest. It actually sparked a lot of interest in me. So shortly after campus, I've been working in the brokerage firms, started at HFM, came to Scope Markets. Been quite an engaging and a learning journey. So yeah, quite exciting. So I feel like in a way we are still all in the same space. Yeah. So at some point, now that you're talking about motherhood, I'm sure at some point you became mothers through your journey. So when was this? When did it happen? You can start with you, Christine.
All right, for me, I have two children. My firstborn is she's turning 7 this year. So this was back in 2018, and my secondborn is 2 years old. Yeah,
That's adorable. And on your side?
When I think about motherhood and the markets, because now we've said we're in the markets.
Yeah.
It's a journey that intertwines,
yeah.
and one has to accommodate the other. So I became a mom that 12 years ago.
Wow.
I am a mother of 3, 2 girls and 1 boy, who are very adorable.
Aww.
And motherhood makes you complete, and it gives you a purpose.
Yes.
So it's not been easy because in the times that we were in the market, or I was in the market,
Okay.
most of the earnings are earned from commissions, from what you do.
Yes.
So you can imagine you are away the last few months of pregnancy. Of course,
Yeah,
you're not very
on your maternity
productive
leave.
on your maternity leave.
Yeah.
Again, when the child is small,
Yeah.
you're not able to be full-time in the markets.
Yeah.
So, of course, your income's deep. Your emotions are all over. You're worried. Now you're wondering, will I be able to even sustain this child?
Yeah.
But it's a game that by the time now you're becoming even a second-time mom,
Yeah.
you already know that this is coming and you need to have a buffer stock. You need to prepare.
Yeah.
So that's how it has gone.
That's nice. That's nice. I like how you've both got, like, your faces lit up when you were talking about your babies. So that's quite interesting. And as you guys have said in the space, I think you've mentioned something about the male dominance in this space. So over time in this particular journey, are there moments you guys have felt like underestimated, maybe due to the fact that you're a woman? And maybe how did you maneuver around that situation? I can start with you.
Those moments will never miss. And the more I look back, the more I realize those moments are not because you're a mom. It's not because you're a woman.
Okay.
It's just because human beings try to outshine for survival and to look good. So the moment you understand that within yourself, you stop looking at yourself as a victim. Of course, it's real, and the we can say the gender card is played a lot of times, and some things will look right when they are being done or said by a man than when they are being done or said by a woman.
Yeah.
And you will hear things being thrown around like you're just being emotional, you're overreacting, all those things. You're insensitive, or you're trying to gain favors.
Yeah.
So it's building resilience, and of course also being confident in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's good to look back and look at your successes. I think that's one thing that I would give as a strategy.
Yeah.
Whenever those moments come, look back and what are those things that
The
you
small
did
wins.
the wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, for me, of course, those moments are there. I mean, just from Moni's statements, I actually, being traders,
Yeah.
the job description requires you need to be aggressive. That's the nature of the job. But you'll find when it's a lady trying to push for the same, probably you're trying to push for the same business,
Yeah.
it comes across as, for lack of a better term, it may come across as you're being too pushy, for lack of, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to get a better word. But when it's a guy, they're aggressive.
Yeah.
So you wonder why the,
Like there's no balance.
yes, yeah, why the double standard?
Yes.
So you see, for a lady, really, I feel we have to work twice as hard in being very honest.
Yeah.
Especially being that the field is very male dominated.
Yeah.
But of course, in those moments where you feel you're down, I mean, we are human.
Yeah.
And I think I've come to accept it's okay for you to take time out.
Yeah.
If you feel it's too much, and then gather yourself up and come back and move.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree. From a conversation I previously had, we were talking about how even when you're walking in town as a woman and there are these touts, they will be very confident kukuchokoza, but they wouldn't do the same thing to a man.
Yeah.
And if you overreact, it's, they consider it you overreacting and all
Yeah.
those things. So like you all have said, it actually takes strength to be a woman and
Yeah.
to overcome all these things.
Actually, I remember some instances. in the business is mainly calling. So
Yeah.
you'll call the clients to try get some deals.
Yeah, yes.
I told you I have been a bonds dealer. So when you're dealing with bonds, you're dealing with maybe bank treasurers or other dealers in other fund management firms and such. So I will pick a call to call for a certain deal.
Yeah.
And the client on the other side, being a male, will be like, no, I'm not in the market, and even try to just be very stern and put you off.
Brush you off completely.
But if a colleague who is a guy calls, and you can tell that this guy is actually just
Immediately.
pushing,
Yes.
like, hey, this and that,
Yeah.
and they will get the deal.
Yes.
So most of those things come, and sometimes you can second guess yourself,
Yeah.
and feel like,
Yeah.
I'm being too pushy, or maybe
Yes.
this is for them.
Yes.
And many women have quit
Due to such factors.
Yes.
or
Yeah.
maybe such like factors that make them feel this is not my space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, on that note with the calls, because I also do a lot of calling. So I remember there's a time back, I also called a client. So again, you'll realize you deal with clients, different religions, and there's a way a certain type of religion treats women. So the moment you call them, they're like, apana, wewe sijui dini, like you get, they bash you. And then the moment maybe you give it to someone else, you feel like maybe you can handle this better. And they're like,
Yeah.
So, like you've said, it's a bit tough, but you're tougher.
Yeah, actually, I think I want to also contribute to that on Monica's point. It's very true. That's the nature of the industry, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So you'll find at times even the guy, probably the dealer,
Yeah.
it's just a preperception they have that because you're a lady, it's either you actually don't know your facts. As she said, you really need to be stern and really know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I remember this instance. My colleague is actually a lady still in the office. So we saw most business was going to this other, the gentleman in the team.
Yeah.
And we were like, how come if we're still showing the same and we're even there maybe earlier, if it's about speed, why are we not getting the business? And I proposed, let's just go and meet the guy at his office. And we did. And the funny thing we realized, the client had a pre-perception that when it's a lady calling, it's just laughing.
Yeah.
The stories are supposed to be
Fun.
fun.
just
it's
Yeah.
on the
it's a
surface
chit-chat.
type of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when we had the meeting, I can recall he was very impressed.
Yeah.
He saw we know our stuff. So you see, if we didn't make the point of
Yeah,
actually going to
physically,
visit,
yes.
we'd still not be getting business.
And that's
That
why
I
we
agree.
say being a woman takes double the effort.
It does.
Exactly.
In fact,
Exactly.
they even tell you, oh, you're so smart. You're like, but we've been talking on phone. But the moment they meet you, they're like, you're smart. So why it takes double the effort.
Yeah.
And even maybe over time, what are some of the things you've gotten to unlearn? Because you see, there are things you learn, then due to maybe the space you're in, you get to unlearn them. Are there some of those things that you've encountered? You had to shape up differently or shed off?
Yeah. I've personally have had to, and this is maybe a personal strategy, a coping mechanism, so I would call it.
Yeah.
I've stopped at some point overlooking myself as a woman, but as a profession. So look at yourself as a trader, for example, not as a woman.
A woman trader.
Let the woman card not be
Yeah.
the forefront card that you're placing on the table or expecting to move you. So even when we look at these things, mostly pushed for women, even that notion of creating, when we start involving women and bringing policies that bring women to the space, even looking at the parliament, when we brought the
equality
woman
rules.
rep.
Yeah.
And right now, they are being seen like they are there as a favor.
Yeah.
Now someone sees you and they are just looking at you. You just have that position because there is that provision of a woman must be on that position, not because you qualify. So really trying to demystify that. And so learning traits.
Yes.
Or because I worked closely with 3 gentlemen, very closely. And you can see their moves and how they do things. and I picked a lot on those things, dealing with the facts
Yeah.
and going for the prize,
Yeah.
not for the stories and the kucheka cheka we are talking about.
yeah.
And I would say over time it has paid.
That's quite, actually, that's a learning point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, what I've had to unlearn is we should not be, I mean, just as Monica said, it's okay to be, I mean, it's a fact we're women.
Women, yeah.
But yeah, the woman card really, it doesn't pay off. So I've never even used the card anyways, but I'm just saying I've had to know you need to put in
Yeah.
the work
Yeah.
in equal measure
Yes.
for you to get the reward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I agree with you on that.
Yes.
So maybe just to digress a bit from that, like we've said, we're all women. We were once girls. We were once kids. So at some point, there's this dream you used to have. Like, when I grow up, I want to be a doctor, an astronaut, a chef. So are you currently, what did you want to be when you were a little kid? When you're that little girl? When you grow up, what were you saying you wanted to be?
Thank you for that question. So the interesting thing about me is at 6 years old, I remember I was watching the news
Yeah.
and there was this business segment. So then, back in the day, traders would wear red coats and shout because it used to be the open
trading
outcry
rooms, yes,
system.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And I don't know if it was the shouting that got me excited
Or the red coats.
But imagine from age 6, I told myself that is what I want to do.
Wow.
So I think
You're
the stars
living the
aligned,
dream, yeah.
and the rest is history. You just, of course, focus, chase the dream.
Yeah.
Even in campus, I actually did Bachelor of Commerce in Finance.
Still in
So I
line.
knew.
Yeah.
But of course, at the back of my mind there was, you want to be a doctor. But of course, in due time, you're like, are you able to
Yeah.
have the capacity?
Yeah.
But I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I remember what I
That's
wanted to
nice.
be.
You're literally living the dream.
Yes.
How about you?
Wow,
Monica?
and unlike Christine, I can tell you, I'm not anywhere close to what I thought I would be.
Wow.
In any case, I never thought I would be a trader or,
Yeah.
in the capital markets.
Yeah.
But I knew one thing. I wanted to make money. So I can say I was following where the money is. And that's how I landed to the markets.
current space, yeah.
Again, I always was thrilled by the idea of doing business. You start off something and you're there resilient, building. I could see my mom working so hard to a business, making money, paying school fees, doing things. And maybe that also contributed
Yes.
to making me yearn for,
Yes.
for business.
So also
become an
living the dream.
Yes.
It seems I'm the only one not living the dream.
No, maybe you're not aligning the dream with what you're doing now and the other.
I'll have to sit down after this. Because when I was young, when I was a young girl, I'm still young.
Young till you die.
Yeah, you know. I always wanted to be a doctor. So at some point after, when you just come to this realization, this one is not coming through, I decided I wanted to be a vet. So I'll tell you this, I've not given up on the dream, but I love where I am. And it's even if I pursue that at some point, I won't stop doing what I'm doing. Yeah, so I love where I am. So I'm still kind of living the dream also.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so let's go to motherhood. To both of you, what is it like to be a mom? Like, what is being a mom?
All right.
I don't know if I've framed it well, but what?
All
Who is a
right.
mom?
A mom is a symbol of strength to her children. I think from even having to go through the pregnancy journey,
Yeah.
it's like, I think even God intended it for it to be that 9 months.
Yeah.
It's to like prepare you
Yes.
for this. It's not even a season, for the lifetime of what is coming ahead.
Yeah.
So I feel motherhood, it brings out strength in women. You hear most of the time women say they're not the women they were
Yeah. True. The
before
moment they become mothers.
moms.
Yeah.
So of course, motherhood is this pillar of strength. it's growth in
Yeah.
terms of love. You experience love to an extent
Yeah.
you never thought
Wow.
you can ever love.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also, it can be rage, because when you think about anyone or anything trying to harm your babies,
Yeah.
there's a strength in you
Hits
that's
differently.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Uh-huh.
So I feel motherhood is just this really formidable experience. It's just I can't just sum it up in one
Yeah.
word. Yeah,
That's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. I look at what I do as a mom, as a potter. You're really just molding up something.
Yeah.
You have an idea of what you want to try to make it. But between that, the end and now,
Yeah.
you have to do a lot of work.
Yeah.
I also see a mother from the side of a child. You know, and maybe because we have the younger side of the children.
Yes.
And they look at you as their God. Because they are looking up to you for literally everything.
Yeah.
And from the simple pat on the back, that was good, a smile, a spank, you know, all those things.
Yeah.
They really make that child just always look up to you. And that's why when they make you unhappy, you can really see in their eyes that they really feel bad
Yeah.
that they've let you down. But nevertheless, it's a beautiful journey.
Yeah.
It creates a sense of purpose. And this purpose is your purpose of existence. Sometimes I
Yeah.
look back and I feel like, I think this is why God created me, to raise these babies.
Yeah.
Because it's so fulfilling. And I keep looking for every new day
Yeah.
to walk the journey.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so sweet. On my side, I'm not a mom yet. So I feel though...
You're a mom in the making.
Actually, yes. I feel though I'm a mom in the sense of I'm also a firstborn in our family. So I had to mom up quite early because, you know, you become deputy mom real quick. You have your siblings, you have to take care of them. So at some point, for someone who's like, if it's your sibling, it can be frustrating. You'll keep on fighting with them and all that. But at the same time, you get that sense of responsibility. You know, you also want to see them doing well. So I kind of relate to what you're saying from a distance. Yeah, that's really beautiful.
Yeah.
And then even as women and as mothers, what is that one skill you feel every lady should be maybe like equipped with for both journeys, as a woman and as a mom?
As a woman, I think tenacity. Yeah. That in the event of adversity or challenges, you really have to keep pushing. As a mom, I think courage, strength.
Those are powerful words.
Yes.
Tenacity, courage. Oof, big words.
Strength, yeah. Yeah, because, you know, like being a mom, and I don't know what coincidence this is, but most times children get sick
Yeah.
at night
Coincidentally.
for some weird...
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, of course, in when you're faced with that, is your first reaction, say, will you first start thinking, okay, what do I mean, you need to be very...
Yeah. You can't like go
Think on
panic
your
mode.
toes.
You can't
Yes,
go on panic mode.
yes, yes. And have the courage, because you see, the baby is not, well, at times they even, what's the word? When they get into convulsions. You see, that's not the time for you to now start thinking,
what's
you
going
really
on?
need to be thinking.
Hands-on.
Yeah, because I mean, some decisions you make can even be...
A matter of life and death.
Exactly. So that's why the strength really
Yeah.
needs to be there.
Wow.
Yeah, I do agree with Christine because and the last statement she has said was my top on the list because as a mom you should always be ready.
Yeah.
Like sometimes at night you're sleeping, they just open your door, Mom, I'm not feeling well. So do you start thinking, oh no, you're... At times it's sudden things happening. Always be ready and prepared. Sometimes they even ask you very hard questions. How do you answer them? Whether you give them a straight answer or you first beat around the bush, but you can't look at them blank and tell them, I don't know, give me time to think.
Yeah.
So being ready all the time. Again, is being resilient. You have to keep on pushing on. And it's what Christine is calling tenacious, and of course being courageous. So, and those are traits that we really borrow heavily from motherhood to even our places of work,
True.
or leadership positions, where now you have to apply some of those skills or traits, and they go down well. Yeah,
That makes a lot of sense. I love that. I won't even add on it.
maybe when you become a mom, you'll
We'll
be
have
able
to
to add
revisit.
on
We will
it.
revisit. But at least I know maybe who to go to, even for advice, now that you guys have been moms for quite a while. So that's really encouraging to know. And then do you guys normally get like mom guilt in terms of, or should I even leave it at that? Take it away.
Finish the question.
No, I want you to answer the way you understood it.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Mom guilt is constant.
It's
for sure.
Every day.
Constant. And let me tell you how real this thing is. Currently, I'm running a new farm, and it's like another baby.
Yes.
And so you have now the babies, and now you've stolen some of their time.
Yes.
Because sometimes you have to pick meetings in the house.
Yeah.
You have to do a webinar at night. You have to leave early. Sometimes you come home late. Sometimes you're away over the weekend.
True.
And that's a time that guilt just hits smack on.
Okay.
And you feel like I'm the worst mom. I am just I'm going to raise these kids. They are going to go wrong because I'm not there for them. I'm not watching every step. You want to watch every milestone,
Be
every
there for
step.
them. Yeah.
If schools nowadays, you can hear I have 3 kids. Those are 3 different school events at whatever time. Maybe this one has
That's
swimming
commitment.
competition.
Yeah.
So you can't be there in all of them.
Yeah.
And the day you don't show up is the day you'll really feel like you're missing
It
out.
really kicks in.
But again, thankfully, after guilt, there's something you can do to compensate.
True.
Maybe spending time together, taking some time away for holiday,
Yeah.
or just reassuring them, going for dates with them, maybe even personal dates with each child.
True.
Just to try make it up.
Yeah.
So there's a cost.
Yeah, it has to have a cost. But as long as you're compensating, that actually covers it up. Yeah.
Yeah, so the reality is being a career woman and being a mom, those two, striking a balance really is not easy.
Yeah.
So there are times, as Monica said, you need to be in school, but there's something in the office that requires your contribution.
Yeah.
And I mean, we are all trying to chase the bag. At such points, of course, office will come first.
Yes.
But I think in such instances, for me, what I've come to appreciate is support system.
Wow.
You really need. You can't do it all, really. So that way, because you remember we said you still need to. You're trying to compete for the same opportunities with men.
Yes.
But you can't play the woman card. So if you need to be at the office, say for a meeting that requires your input, you need to be there. Yeah. So having a support system is it's key. It helps lessen because at least they'll be with someone who they feel, oh, this person was here for my play, for example.
Definitely.
It won't feel as bad, but of course, trying to balance is not easy.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe based on what you've said, balancing is hard. So you see, you're juggling a lot.
Yeah.
There are the bedtime stories. You have to work.
Yeah.
You have to do so many things. How do you guys take care of yourselves?
That's another one.
When do you have your me time?
Oh my goodness. Okay, like for me, I'll be honest, I just finished my master's.
Oh, wow.
So I was trying to combine school. Okay, you have work.
Yes.
8 to 5. In the evening, you have classes. You're still a mom. So
It's a
like
lot.
for my and actually when this year came, I was just like, I'm doing nothing. Let me just enjoy
Some
being
me
a
time.
present mom.
Yes.
Because in no time these kids will be grown.
Yeah, true.
And you'll be wondering, where did the time go?
Yeah.
So really for me, My me time is me. Now, like I said, I like karaoke.
Yes.
We'll put it on and we'll be singing with the babies.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, that's a way to just, because I said I
True.
really want to be present now
Yeah.
that I had such a crazy schedule.
Yeah.
So this year, I'm not really, trying to be all over. I'm a bit more grounded. And apart from now, karaoke with the babies, I mean, okay, of course, even spending time, quality time with family and friends,
Yeah.
that gets me.
That's your happy place.
Yes,
Oh, wow.
yes.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
Wow. I think for me, every time I've learned, first of all, to just understand that or accept that this motherhood thing is full time.
Yeah.
So you better just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And as you're doing it, take it as your me time.
Yeah.
But most of the times that I am reminded that you need to pause, take some time out,
Yeah.
rejuvenate, because you cannot pour from an empty cup.
Exactly.
So you need to fill your cup. And it's good to really look down back to that young girl before you became a mom.
Yeah.
What did you love doing? So for me, I will have a night out with my girls.
Oh, wow.
I will do spa dates or do a spa date for myself alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that just makes me feel like I'm now
Refreshed.
ready to take on now the
yeah.
next phase.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
it's like a speed bump. You're on the road highway moving, there's a bump, you
Yeah.
pause, you take the bump, then
Then
you
you proceed.
proceed.
Yeah.
So those are things that I try, but I must say I have not been very diligent. Sometimes I'll even find yourself postponing
Yeah.
because you're like, do I go for this or do I go for this meeting? You go for the
Yes.
meeting.
Yeah.
And over time it will jeopardize with our really well-being.
Yeah.
So this being the month of mothers
Yes.
and women,
Yes.
and maybe we the younger mothers can now take a pause and make sure at least
Yeah.
this
Some-
month
some
you appreciate
self-appreciation,
yourself,
yes.
you know.
Yeah.
And those people who are who are in charge of these mothers should also make sure that they are
Make them feel
appreciating them.
appreciated,
Yeah.
But I can imagine, because if already at this point, even for me, I'm not able to have a lot of me time. So I can imagine how much, it takes even discipline for you to even get something and do it consistently while still juggling being a parent. It's actually a lot. And I feel like that's why we are given that grace as women and as mothers to be able to, I don't know how to call it, like to maneuver and do all that.
And to do all that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And maybe during your journey or even now, is there maybe like a book, or maybe it can be a book, can be a podcast? Is there something that maybe you've read, or something of the sort that has really helped you shape up your life? Like for me, there's a book called Everything is Figuratable. And I feel after I read that book, even these small things, I look at something and if you look, okay, let me not choose that one. Even this table, you see, even if it's broken, like you can choose to figure out where the problem is. And it just made me realize sometimes we might look at things and they seem so, so impossible. But that statement, everything is figuratable. So I feel like I live by it.
Yeah.
It's that one go-to book. It's like a small book. You guys can check it out. It's really inspiring.
Now that you're talking about books, there's a book I have read and reread, and it's not a small book, it's a
big one.
big book. It's called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like it talks about what you're talking
yes.
about. And it's overlooking some things. Just let some things go. They're not worth the fight.
Yeah.
The
The
you,
hassle,
you
the
carry
pain,
it, and it really weighs you down. You feel always angered because of something. Learn to let go things a bit faster so that you can be able to move on.
Move on, yeah.
It's very hard. It's hard because some things are also very, very deep and very personal.
Yeah.
But if you are able to not sweat the small stuff, you'll be able to move on.
Like, that makes sense.
For me, I'm really not much of a reader. But I think whenever I'm faced with such circumstances, of course, I'll be probably looking up podcasts, looking up topics,
Yes.
depending on maybe what I feel. and just listen in.
Ah, wow.
And I'm able to,
Pick up 1, 2, 3
reboot.
things.
You
Yeah.
reboot,
Yes.
and you're good.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, when you go back to your faith or now faith matters.
Yes.
Again, there is a lot of restoration and reassurance when you listen to gospel music. For myself, I really, when I just put the music on the TV, you just watching, you just feel nice. You feel calm,
Restored.
and ready to soldier on. And maybe that's where the graces you're talking
The
about
grace
come from.
becomes sufficient. Wow.
But for me, I actually have a playlist on Spotify. I even, it's named Uplifting.
Wow.
So whenever I'm in the pits, I know I put that. By the time it's done, it runs like for an hour.
You feel much better.
Yeah.
Now that you're talking about music, like what's your favorite song at the moment?
Wow. You know, I'm a mom of a 2-year-old, so if it's about the latest, really,
It might actually be a Miss Rachel.
Yes.
You should call Miss Rachel.
Cocomelon,
It might
Twinkle
be a Cocomelon song.
Anyway, yeah, so I think for me, as long as the beat...
It's vibing. As long as you're vibing with the beat, that
yeah.
makes sense. Me too, actually.
Yeah.
For me, it's about the
But
vibes.
I think I like, I know a new one. Ruga and what's her name? And Toma.
I think
like
you
that
guys
one.
will
I
play
like
it after.
Yeah. And it's just because of the beat, because of our karaoke.
Makes sense. Oh, from karaoke. Nice.
I think for me, I don't have a favorite song. I just go by this beats because I'll not even remember the name of that song. It's I'm those people who when the song comes in, that's my song.
Yeah.
I know that song.
beats.
You love the beats.
Yeah.
And just more because the music has a way of just
Uplift, making you just feel good. See, like I'm a pianos, you can't really tell what is being said, but you find you guys are just vibing to it, you know. That's really amazing.
Yeah.
And then, so maybe you guys might have to stand and dance kidogo, but so when you close a deal, now that you're women in this business, when you close deals, like, what is your go-to maybe dance move, or you know, what do you feel like doing after you've closed a big deal?
wow, that throws me. It throws me to a lot of things.
I don't think I've ever danced because of closing.
You should get one.
Well, I've seen when you close a deal and you cheers,
Yeah.
you can take a shot because you're happy. You high five.
Yes.
You can jump. Like those emotions
Yes.
are so real.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can chase a deal when it goes through.
Hey.
Then you just feel like you are touching the Lord.
You know,
with
you're
your
walking
hand.
on clouds. You came and you didn't send anyone.
Yes. This one you came direct.
Yes.
Yeah, so you move with them. You move with those emotions as they come.
Nice. Maybe just to also jump kidogo. There's a lot happening in the markets, and you are all in this particular space. There's Trump, there are tariffs, there are the global tensions. So just phrasing it like that. What are your thoughts on the current market happenings?
Okay, Q1 has been very eventful, that's true. The US issuing the reciprocal tariffs. Of course, as soon as the next day, you saw markets, after Trump announced, they dipped immediately. Yeah, but of course now after they decided to halt, there's been a bit of, rebound in the market.
Yeah.
So I feel Q2, things will look up. I mean, it's not to say Q1 was bad.
Yeah.
But of course, with every action, there is a reaction. It's all a matter of perspective, really.
True.
So, of course, things like what we're expecting is, in case some of these tariffs are maintained, things like imports, of course, those costs will go up.
Yeah.
That, of course, affects the GDP, of course, the exchange rate. So, of course, all those things translate. So, for investors, you'll see maybe shifts in asset classes as they try to go for options that are maybe more favorable for them.
Yeah.
But general outlook for Q2, generally people are not so optimistic, but I think it's all a matter of how you look at it and your strategies of mitigating.
That's nice. Thank you.
Yeah. Maybe what I will comment about the markets at the moment is few years ago we could see longer cycles in markets. Markets are cyclic.
Yeah.
So we could see longer cycles, maybe a cycle of about 5 years where markets go up and go down. So a full complete cycle. But now we are seeing shorter cycles.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of volatility. So what one can do as an investor, because again, we are trying to make whatever is happening in the markets relatable to
Yeah.
an investor, is be alert to be able to catch those movements.
Yeah.
When it's high, be able to make quick decisions to exit markets, be cash ready. This is a time to remain very liquid so that you can be able to take up
Jump into-
opportunities when they come. You can see such a single thing like Trump announcing tariffs and everything just goes down.
Yeah.
Good opportunity to buy because we know these are not fundamentals.
Yeah.
You're able to pick some of these positions and wait for markets to correct.
Yeah.
Immediately within 2-3 weeks,
Yeah.
you see markets have moved up
corrected. Yeah.
20%
True,
up.
true.
So what are you doing to ensure that you're catching these
Yeah.
waves? So that's the biggest question you need to ask yourself as an investor. What are you doing to enjoy this volatility?
Yeah.
You may not have to jump into the market and start learning. You can work smart
Yeah.
and be able to pick the right vehicles that can help you around that.
Yeah, taking advantage of the situation.
Yeah.
And like Christine has also said about perspective, because even as the markets have been dipping, there are people who took advantage of
Yeah,
hedging strategies
exactly.
and they were able to make something.
Yes,
So
yes.
I agree with you. And now as we wind up, looking back at your younger self, what would you advise yourself? Like at a time where you felt most vulnerable, you didn't even know whether you'd make it. What will you tell yourself?
It all works out.
It all works
eventually.
out. I like that.
Yeah, I would be more calmer. I'll be calmer looking into situations that I find myself.
Okay.
Because as Christine is saying, it all works out at the end of it all. Today you look back at that big thing that you thought this is going to finish me, and you walked out.
Yeah.
And that's what we said initially.
Yes.
That look at your wins, what you have overcome, and that's what will help you deal with the next
Wow.
thing that is coming.
True.
Yeah.
The final one. Advice for women out there, young moms, old moms, any kind of woman or mom out there. Yeah, just something.
Having a strategy, just as long as you're focused, you can chase any opportunity. For women in general, for moms, I think we keep on keeping on. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. My advice will be, let's not overuse the woman card.
Yeah.
Let's focus on our strengths and our those skill sets
Yeah.
that we own and we have acquired. That's what will help us sail through. So to all women out there, let's stay focused, let's go for it, and let's not give up. Resilience is a key trait that we must have. Yes.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. I feel like I've also really learned a lot. Thank you so much for coming. To our viewer, thank you so much for watching. We've had quite an amazing session with these beautiful women. Happy Mother's Day, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Thank you.